Afternoon, how are you doing? I'm just ironing a bit of interfacing onto a bit of material ready. So how are you doing? It's been, what, fortnight since I've been here. Hiya Claire, how are you doing? I'll see you tomorrow. Hiya Anne, how are you? So today I don't think I should be let out on my own, really. I just thought, right, I'll prep a little bit before you come on, and I've been a real dilly about it, but I'll get to that in a minute. Right, so Sarah, you left your rotary cutter open. So where are we? I don't know whether you heard my my saga. Hiya Kate and Leslie, how are you? Of Disney, we didn't actually get to Disneyland because one of the passports wasn't was only had a month left on it, and now you have to have 3 months, so they wouldn't let us fly, so we never made it to Disney. So yeah, I went into a bit of a funk then, but never mind. It is as it is. It is what it is, and we just learn to deal. So I'm back with you, lovely lot, and it's nice to be back. Right, today we are making an animal cushion. I had big plans, as normal. I had big plans for what I was going to do, and it hasn't quite gone according to what I wanted to do. In fact, I've really, looking at what I've done now, I really haven't done myself any favours at all. Sitting here thinking, oh, right, I'll just do this. It means that it'll be quicker. But yeah, right, I'm gonna make a panda. Okay, it's not a very exciting. I thought it'd be really quite quick. Let's go and have a look over here, shall we? So, hiya Karen, Heather, Jean, how are you? You are all right? Right, so it's just going to be a panda cushion. So you can see I've got an eye and some ears, and we're going to put in a zippity-doo-dun zip. It's really quick, simple, easy. But I've already made it more difficult for myself completely. So I decided I would do a quick blanket stitch around while I was waiting for you. And instead of doing the one that I've already prepped and just blanket stitching around this, I did the one I didn't prep. These bits, these two little bits here, I didn't remove the paper on the Bonder web because I'm a dilly. So that's it is what it is. It's just going to be a crispy eye on the thing, and I've put them wrong. So he's going to end up with odd eyes because I've put them both on the same. When I was putting them all together yesterday, I thought, right, I need to remember to put the eyeball bit on that side, because I either do him so he's looking to one side, or we're going to make him squiffy. And I think we're going to make him squiffy. At home, I would normally do this in black so that it just disappeared into there, but I can't be bothered with the changing over of threads on a machine that I don't know very well. So that's that. I think what we'll start with is the back. Right, that's got a bit in there. So I've cut two 20-inch squares. Now, we reckon 18 inches is quite good for a cushion. But I wanted it to be slightly bigger because I'm going to do like a French seam, because there is no, it's just cushion cover. There's no padding or anything because I'm not quilting anything. So I made them 20 inches. Now, a zippity-doo done zip is 18 inches. So I needed to make that bigger. So I've just got these little pieces. I mean, I'm going to lose most of this in my seam allowance. Okay. So I've taken a square. I've actually taken a bit off the selvage edge. You're going to put it so that it is leading into the zip, because we're going to fold it back like that. Okay, so I've put this so that it marries up with the end of the zip like that, and I'm just going to sew along here, flip it back, and then top stitch it to keep it in place. Okay, so we'll go over to the machine. Hiya Nikki, how are you doing? And a Reno patchwork guy, how are you? So we are all, I'm still on blanket stitch. Okay, where's my straight stitch? Right in the middle. I'm guessing it's that one. I don't know. Yeah, so we're just putting a stitch down there to hold that in place, and then I'm going to flip this back over where I've just stitched, and then I'm going to put in a top stitch to hold it back. Okay, where am I? So this is just a really quick, easy thing. Except that I can't get my fabric in there now. I'm such a twit. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is I need to be able to slot my fabric in there, so I only needed to sew this bit. So I have that. What we're going to do is we're just going to snip these stitches here. Always, always. There we go. See, you miss this, don't you? This is how I stitch at home. So I'm just opening these because I want to be able to slot my fabric in there. Okay, like this. So what have you lot been up to? You done anything exciting? I keep an eye on you on Gigglers as we're going. But have you done anything that's been, you know, something that you've been wanting to do for ages? Anybody got bucket lists? I need to start thinking of things for bucket list. There's a lady in our village who's doing 60 things at 60. Well, I'll be 60 in 2 years, a year and a half really. What am I? I'm 59 in May, so yeah, a year and a bit. I'll be 60. I need to start thinking of 60 things that I want to do. Right, okay. So we have a zip like that. I'm going to fold this in half so that got a half like that, and I'm just going to cut along here, and we're just going to trim that edge there. Okay, I just want to take a little bit off, and then we're going to slot our zip into that and then sew that in place. Comes along here. These zippity-doo-dungs are brilliant. You've put binding on. Well, that's good. That is actually a really good thing. Getting stuff done. I think it always gives you a good feeling. We're going to go that way. Always gives you a good feeling when you can do that. Right, so zippity-doo done. You're going to slot your fabric in to your zip. Once you've used a zippity-doo done for doing things like this, you will never go back to anything else. I'm telling you. So I'm going to make sure that that slots in all the way along there, like that. Have I gone back enough for that? There. And you can see that by putting these bits on the end, it has extended it. You know, I might end up cutting some of it off, but for now that's perfect. So I'll pin that in place there as well. Okay, zip round the wrong way, like that. This pin doesn't want to go in, and I've probably lost my... Nope, it's still sitting in there. Right, so now we're just going to top stitch, okay, and put the zip in place. Now you can decorate this with a decorative stitch, or you can put one close to the edge and then another one up the top. It's entirely up to you how you want to sew this zip in now. So we're going to start at the end, and I'm just going to follow a point on my foot, okay, in the middle there. I'm just going to bring this, checking that everything is in place as we go. It really is the quickest way to put a zip into a cushion. You know that it's not going to gape like it would if you were putting a envelope back. I always find mine gape a bit. So that's one side. Now we're going to, there you go, that's one side there. One side there, lovely, awesome. And we're now going to put this one in here. How's the spots coming over on camera? Is it, because they can do your eyes in if you're looking at it for too long. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to pin that back in. Which way am I going? I'm going that way. So I'll pin that way. And this one, pin up here. Like that. There. Spots are looking okay. Yeah, I mean, they say not to wear them on telly and things, don't they? Because it can send your eyes funny. Right, so move that out of the way. You haven't got to worry about changing your foot either with this zip, because for the most of it you're miles away from the zip edge. Now if I was doing this at home, I would probably put in another row of stitches, or maybe put in a decorative stitch. But I have to be honest, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, and Dave and I did Valentine meal and played a game called Unlock, like an escape room type thing, and I figured it was a little bit more important than doing this. So right, so that's my back done. Okay, that'll be ready for when we come to put the cushion together. Throw that over there. Right, so ears. I just made a circle I'm going to sew round. You can see I've ironed a bit of H630 on the back. I've put 2 bits of black right sides together, and I've drawn a circle on one side. Now I find it easier when you're doing something like this to just follow the circle and then cut it out, because it means that if you go off the line like I did here, it doesn't really matter. Whereas if I'd already cut the circle out, trying to do it without going off the line, you know, or keeping it to the edge becomes a little bit more difficult. Whereas this, you just move the edge. Okay, so we're going back to here. We're just going to follow this all the way around, trying to do all the straight stitching first. So remember, ears on whatever creature are never symmetrical anyway. Even our own ears are not symmetrical. So we're going around this with pinking shears. Like this. Makes it quite quick as well. And now to turn it out the right way, and because some of it is going to be within my seam allowance, I'm just going to chop the end off so that I've got a gap to be pulling it out. So we're just chopping the end off like that. Let's take the pin out. We're going to find our opening and gently pull it through, because I now have stitches that are not locked, and we're just going to push our curve out. Look at that, that's not bad. And because we've pinked it, we didn't need to chop into it. So we have one, oh, we could have made a Mickey Mouse, look at that. We could have visited Disney just by doing this. I did think, you know, when I was doing the bag before I went and we were doing the bag flap, I did think about doing a Disney one. I'm so glad I didn't now. I could sit and cry all over again. So we're just going along here. So I hope my our lesson has taught you all to go and check your passports and make sure that you're not, if you're going international, it has to be 6 months. If you're going Europe, then it's 3. And it's all to do with the fact that if you got sick or anything out there, you've got to have enough on your passport to get you home. So we're just rolling the edges just to make sure that I've pushed them out as much as they'll go. Now, if I was at home and I had black, I would just go around the edge, put a top stitch in, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so now to the eyes. I have peeled the back. Now I don't know whether you've all done Bondaweb. I'm sure you have. Bondaweb, you use, Bondaweb is like a paper and it's got glue on one side. Now you can feel that, and you can feel that's rough, and this is smooth. Okay, now Sarah's done a lot of Bondaweb with you. Okay, so what you do is you draw out your shape. We're not going to use this because we don't need a square in this one, but it was the easiest thing. You do your shape, you cut it out roughly. Okay, you don't want to cut it on the line, because by cutting it on the line after you've ironed it, it seals it better. It seals the edges so that they don't peel back. It just works better. So then you put your bond web on the wrong side of your fabric, like that. You get your ironing board and you just iron it. You make sure that you're doing it from the right side, because otherwise it sticks to your iron and you don't want that. Once you've it's adhered and everything, the easiest way to get that paper off is to make a score in there and get your needle under it like that, and you're peeling it off, which then leaves glue, which you can't see, but there's glue here now. So this then you can then stick. You put, once you've, oh no, I've taken it off without cutting it out. I told you it shouldn't be left out. So my square would have been there-ish, and you would cut it out on your line. See, shouldn't be let out. I managed to do the whole, remember the dog panels and the pig panels and stuff? I managed to do a whole dog without getting it wrong once. So I am capable of doing these things. Okay, so I now have a square, which is what we were aiming for. Oh, and a needle, and put the needle in there. So I now have a square, which is ready then to be ironed onto a piece of fabric. Okay, so you would put your square where you want it, iron it in again like that, and you end up, it's all bonded. Okay, now you could leave it like this, but over time that is going to lift and might fray on the edges, so which is why we blanket stitch. So I peeled these, ironed these on, and we are now going to put these on our thingy. Yeah, we're now going to put these onto our face. So what am I doing here now? I've put a bit of 250 interfacing on there to give me a stronger, stiffer thing to work on, and we are going to put our face in the middle. Okay, so we're going to peel that one like that. Okay, so we're just peeling off our fabric like that. So we'll put him there, that there. There's a nose somewhere. Oh no, where's my nose? How will he smell? Terrible. I'm going to go in here. This is his nose. It's going to go there. And we go in there like that. And peel this. Now this is going to go not quite so easy because I was a dilly and went through and sewed it on. Don't sew it on with the paper. It's really badly sewn as well. Okay, so we're going through here, taking paper off. So you can see as you score it and get your pin under there, it lifts the paper a lot easier than trying to pick at it on the edges. Okay, this is going to be one crispy eye. Yeah, it wasn't until I was doing the last bit and I thought, ugh, what do you do that for? Okay, so his nose is going to go there. Now, I can either have his eyes looking that way, like that, or we can have him a little bit squiffy. What do you think? I quite like the squiffy. So, like that, I think. What do you think? Are we going with squiffy? You've got about 15 seconds to decide whether he's squiffy or like that. Looking to the side, it looks better. You think? Like that? He looks like he's got a wall eye, doesn't he? Okay, we'll have him looking to the side, as Jean suggested. It's too late now. He's on. Okay. So you need to put enough heat on there to melt the glue that's been there. Okay. Like that. So we then take him back over to the machine and we're going to put a bit of what's it called in there? Blanket stitch. It's quite a small blanket stitch. So I'm going all the way around this edge. Now I've done the inside. So if you've never used blanket stitch on your machine before, the best thing is to take some fabric and do it slowly and watch it as it's working. Do you know, it's really difficult to find this with these spots. They do not make my eyes go uffy. So we're going around the edge. Like I say, I would normally, when I'm blanket stitching, I would blanket stitch in the colour of the fabric that I'm blanket stitching down, and I would change my colours as I'm going. But this isn't going to matter because I've got so much white in here anyway. So do you make a lot of cushions? Do you have a lot of cushions on your settees? I mean, I make a cushion and it goes onto my settee, gets all squashed about, and then we. Oh no. Okay, breathe, sir. Okay, I have blanket stitched everything down. Where am I? I have folded this and blanket stitched this all into place. And I have lost my picker. Are you done with the picker? There it is. So, do you know, my tutorials would go a lot quicker if I didn't have to keep unpicking stuff. So we're going along here. So is it raining by you? It said it was going to rain from 11 o'clock today and we haven't seen any so far. I don't know whether it's raining now. So keep an eye on your stuff, make sure it's not all folded under. So we'll unpick this and then we'll put the cushion together. I must have folded it to begin with, did I? So have you thought about your bucket lists? I'm trying to think what I would do. I'd travel more, I think. I want to see places. There's quite a few places in this country that I'd like to see. Giant's Causeway is one of them. I wouldn't mind seeing Hadrian's Wall and bits of Scotland. I'd like to go up and travel and see some of the beaches in Scotland. They're supposed to be beautiful. Northern Lights is definitely one of them. And when I was little, we lived in Zambia, and I would love to take my husband to see Africa, because there's something awesome about Africa that you just, you know, the smells and the feels of places, you don't get them when you see pictures. You don't get that. There's just a different feel to some places, I think. Like Hong Kong. Hong Kong, this was really I had a cine camera when I went to Hong Kong without Dave and the kids. I went over for the handover because my mum was living out there, and I'm stood there, and there's always a constant hum in Hong Kong. The sound of it is just something that you can't explain, and it doesn't come over on the cine film at all. Right, nearly there. There we go. Right, so you get the picture. You would sew all these down, okay? I'm not going to waste your time. It's just started raining, is it? I thought I could hear the shh on the thing. Right, so we have his face. We want to put ears, okay? So I want my ears, I think, in the corner here. Now, this is something I've not thought hard about. So I'm going to put my zip pocket, zip thing. If I put that with the zip up, no, I'm going to do it with the face up and zip down like that. Okay, so I'm going to level up on one end or the other, because I think it's bigger with the zip in. We're going to leave the zip open because we want to be able to turn the cushion out the right way when we're finished. Okay, now I want his ears to be in by there. You really want his ears in the corners, don't you? I think if we put his ears like that, okay, like that, that's it, with a softy bit down, like that, and if I pin those into place, going like that. Right, bearing in mind I've not tried this, so this is me trying stuff out. Okay, I'm going to put that back there, and then we're going to pin it in place all the way around. Okay, like that. Pin him in place, going around. Now I'm going to chop that corner off like that. so that I know that's where my ears are. Okay, so we're going all the way down and just putting pins in. Like this. Making sure that it's all going to hold together when I whip round it. We're going to turn it over and check to see. Ow. Like that. Okay. I'm going to turn it over and we can see where putting the zip in has made it slightly bigger on the one end. So we're going to trim that off. Like that. Just going to trim that off. You make sure that it's the same size on both ends, then you're less likely to miss it as you're sewing round. Okay, so yeah, that'll do. No, it won't. Trying to think now. Should I have put it? Oh, we would just do it this way. Where are we? Okay, so we're going back to here. Now I'm going to do edge of foot because I've got plenty of fabric to play with. Okay, so if we start at this corner here, I'm going to do edge of foot all the way around. I did think about doing French seams. I was doing French seams and I pinned it. I'm always aware that I'm taking up all your time, so we'll show you a different way to do seams, I think. So French seams, you would sew your sew it wrong sides together. So by sewing it wrong sides together, and then you would turn it out and then sew it right sides together. I probably found that I've sewn my ear in as well now. Yeah, I've sewn the ear in there. His ear up. Okay. So let's remove all the pins. Like this. Yes, with French seams you would sew them so it wrong sides together. So you'd put the cushion in the way that you want it to go. Yeah, his ears have gone all squiffy in there. But what you could do with this now is if you trim back one side, I'm not going to do the whole cushion, but if you trim back one of the sides of your seam, trim that back to 1/4 inch, like this. All the way along. Like that. You could fold this edge over like that. It's a bit like a pajagi seam, and you fold it back over like that, and then you can sew it again. Like I say, we've got plenty of fabric to be messing around like this, like that, and put it in like that. It's probably easier to do French seams actually, but yeah, let's have a turn out and see what he's turned out like. The good thing about these things is if they don't turn out right, you can take all the fabric and use it in something else. So push all your seams out. Now you could now go around and enclose your seams. If you trim off those seams, you could go around, which is what we do, and put in like a false edge all the way around. So even with catching his ears like that, you end up with a very big, where are we, number 2, you end up with a very big animal cushion. So these, right, these cushions, you could make them any way you want, okay? You could turn them into dogs just by changing the faces and making bigger ears and everything. So that's me back causing chaos and causing chaos and giving you ideas. Okay, this is why I'm here, is to give you ideas rather than to yeah, I'm here to give you ideas. Right, okay, I will see you next week. I'm not sure if it's Newton Abbott next week, but Sarah's on Create and Craft on Sunday. So you can go back to the professional bit of White Gecko and go on and have a look and see what we've got going on. I think some of it is up already that you can buy. And there's some lovely stuff, there really is. See you next week, and have a good weekend. Take care.